Hello everybody, welcome to G4G here on YouTube. Today we are in Marvel Avengers Alliance. The background is brought to you by Noir Deco. It's an album called Future to Fantasy. The link will be in the description. And we are here for a little bit of a surprise video that was not planned for the week. And as you may guess, it is Richard Ryder. He got his general release all of a sudden today. So I snagged him and got him up to level 2. So we'll see him in action. We'll also talk about him first. Going into the bios, really long bio over here. Looking at his team ups. Captain Marvel, he's got 4, which is one of his biggest. Got a few with Iron Man and Iron Patriot. Couple with Moondragon, couple with Moonstone. 4 with Nova, tied for his top. Star-Lord is pretty much where he gets the most benefits from. He gets a 5 setup with Star-Lord. Cancerverse Collapse, which I'm not too sure what that one's going to be. Close Encounters, which we know is the Aliens. Guardians of the Galaxy. Rockstars, not too sure about Rockstars. And Safety First is, of course, having a helmet. So, in taking a look at him, he has a passive of Gold Nova Helmet. Early warning chance to preemptively counter single target end area attacks. And that's pretty much it for his passives. He is a Blaster Bruiser, and I do believe he counts for Blaster ISOs, I think. Yeah, so he's going to count for Blaster ISOs, even though he is like Beta Ray Bill, where he's a Blaster Bruiser or a Braster? Blueser? Blueser doesn't sound right. I guess we'll go with Braster. So let's compare him to the Nova that we've had for a little while, Baby Nova. If we take a look at Baby Nova, he has Black Nova Helmet. Early warning chance to dodge and counter enemy attacks, so pretty similar there. Nova Blast does pressure points with exposed and weakened and dizzy and slowed. He also does Opportunist on his quick action. He gains Paragon Exploiter over here with Overkill Mastery. And Opportunity Exploiter, and then Finger Laser has no exploits over there. So, he already looks pretty good with the existing Nova. They both do similar things. They put out pressure points, they put out Opportunist, and then they exploit it over here. So, coming forward, you can find new Nova by sorting by bruisers, which is weird. I've always found the game a little strange with that. The icon is Blaster, his ISOs are Blaster, but yet he shows up when you sort by bruisers. Don't get that. Kazar is a bruiser with a scrapper icon, and he shows up when you sort by bruisers. I think he counts as a bruiser if I remember correctly, not a scrapper. Oh no, yeah, okay, so, there you go. You can find him when you sort by bruisers, but he's a scrapper. Okay, anyway. Alright, so, at level 1, he has melee unarmed, does pressure points, wide open, and combo setup. What ISOs would be good here? Well, of course, there is the pressure point ISO, which may give him a chance to put out more of it. He has flanked. That's pretty good, and I think he does counter with the Nova Brawl. I have to check. He can make people bleed, he can make people flanked. There's pressurized. There's equipped unarmed attack gains, exploit combos. And then he has combo set up on it. Knocking for stuns. For incapacitation, really. And then at the far end, of course, we have Sudarasu, where he could be stealthy. So some fairly interesting ones over there. Here, human rocket, this is a multifunction. All enemies get disadvantage, which basically is opportunist. In reality, that's what it is. So, you know, if you do a disadvantage on a scrapper, they get winded. So this is double the opportunist over here. It's melee and unarmed. And over here, all enemies are intimidated. All enemies have incapacitation. There does not seem to be any cooldowns on this. Tough choice to make. I would believe that for the most part, you're going to be going with human rocket, but the fact that there's no cooldown means you're constantly going to have to make a decision on this. Are you going to do space rocket in a turn, or are you going to do human rocket in a turn? And they'll always be up, so that's kind of crazy. It's going to be very interesting, and they're both, well, one of them is melee unarmed, the other one is ranged. So possibly, if you don't want to get drained, you may be doing the ranged one. Intimidated's good, but Intimidated means a lot more in Marvel Avengers Alliance too. So let's go ahead and take a look at his Nova Beam. This is another multifunction Supernova Blast. All enemies, 2-round cooldown, Catastrophic, Exploit Opportunity, and Paragon Exploiter, and Deadly Crits. Just ranged and energy. Nova Beam is one enemy, ranged, and energy. Near fatal. So he's fairly similar to the younger version of himself over here. It's slightly different, but it's close. So I would say, you know, fairly often people are going to be working with Supernova Blast. And then maybe only going for this when the other is on cooldown, or if somebody's about ready to die. Nova Prime is a free action. Xandarian World Mine protects allies from single target or area attacks, takes reduced damage, taking 2 actions each round. Activates 3 additional quick action options. Starts cooldown, massive cooldown of 4 rounds. So, Nova Punch is a quick action. Pressure points. All allies get toe-to-toe. Nova Blast. One enemy is targeted. All allies get perfect shot. And Nova Rocket. One enemy gets stunned. All allies get lead the charge. Interesting. He might come into one of the videos that I have planned this week on a different topic. He has low health, okay stamina, very high attack, and then average defense, accuracy, and evasion. So using the PKB method, you would be gearing for health and attack, accuracy, and then you can pick your poison on defense and evasion. Baby Nova, I remember being fairly evasive. You may want to go that route with him. Yeah, he has only a chance to counter. He doesn't say that he's got a chance to dodge. So, I mean, you could go either way. You could go raw defense, you could go evasion. Kind of all depends on your flair there. Now, I wanted to take a look at Cannonball real quick. Something tells me that Cannonball might be decent with him. Was there a reason why I was thinking that? Well, Opportunist. He has some mild Opportunist. On our melee kinetic, he could go pressure points there. Kinetic field. Shield slam. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I just think they would be interesting flyers, but the team-ups that jump off the page at me, I mean, honestly, it's so many. Baby Nova would work out phenomenally with him. A lot of people have been discussing Captain Marvel with him, and I think that makes sense because they could give each other perfect shot. They could give each other lead the charge. There is a toe-to-toe over here. Roundly doesn't really help Nova too much. But there's a combo setup over here too. Yeah, I can see them going pretty well. We got wide open. The lead the charges from each other sort of like cancel each other out. If Captain Marvel feeds Nova one, and then she loses her turn and Nova goes before her in the lost turn, well, no, it's always the next round. If they both do it, they would cancel out the missing turn, I think. I believe I've seen that happen before. So, I mean, he goes with anybody who does pressure points. He goes with anybody who does opportunist. You could go with Havoc for pressure points. You could go with Star-Lord for opportunist. And, you know, in PvE, that sounds like that would be a very good one over there, due to the fact that they have such a high team up over there. I mean, 5 packs are kind of rare, and they're certainly worth it when you get them. So, over here we have a ranged and a melee unarmed. Hard to say what would be the best ISO over here. There's not really any that stand out. Could go with increased chance to hit. I really wouldn't go with crit over here. I would say probably hit. Hit would be good. This isn't a big damaging move. But the thing is, it's whether or not you want to do increase to range or the melee unarmed. I think since it's melee unarmed, you probably want to go with the pressure point ISO over here. Is that one going to be available? Well, we've got Calamitous. That's not such a bad idea. Since this is not a very damaging ability, yeah, Calamitous would probably be really good. Pressurized would be pretty solid too, if that's how you're building your team, is pressure points. Like the Captain Britons and the Havocs would be good for stuff like that. Even Mockingbird. So Nova Beam, this is a potentially big damage one. It's already catastrophic. And it's ranged energy. Ranged energy. What you may want to do here, you could go with some of the energy related ones. Like the Gamma. If you were running it with Havoc, potentially exploit radiation, but that's not good with Kurth being around. You've got ionizing, it would work for both. Suppressing would be pretty cool. Gives himself a shield, especially if you plan to have him tank later on. Bursting would be a shield breaker. Not nearly as important as it used to be. I'm thinking the hybrid psychic one. Is that one going to be available? Yeah, if hybrid psychic allows him to hit people who are phased and everything, that might not be too bad of an idea. And then Nova Prime, with the fact that it's a buff, I mean, couple things you could do there, but it does seem like predominantly in this slot, melee and unarmed, so you may want to favor that one. Wouldn't necessarily do pressure points here because he already has it. Oh, allies get toe to toe. It's one enemy. It's one enemy. One enemy. This is a tough one. I would maybe favor the melee unarmed category. I don't think I would do another pressure points ISO over here. This one may be a pretty good one for mauling to set up a flanked situation. Since it's a quick action, set up a flanked and then, you know, either double bang on the Nova Brawl or do something else. So let's go ahead and see him in action. Now, what I've done on my agent is I'm essentially feeding both aspects of his personality here. What I'm doing is running a 2-piece of the X Obliv. So we're going to pick this fight over here. And I've got Mantis in, and I've got Nova, mostly because Mantis is leveling. I have the Gaunt Caress and the X-Obliv from the Horseman set over here. The reason why is at 2 pieces, it sprays everybody with a Opportunist Cologne and a Pressure Point Perfume. So in reality, it works out double well for Richard Ryder once he begins to be able to exploit it. Which I can't do that now. And as you can see here, these aren't quick actions. So I will start off with this. Ow! Well, he just... yeah, you know, that's why I was kind of thinking... yeah, I understand now. I was thinking Cannonball. It's a similar look to him where his lower half kind of goes on fire and looks rocket-ish. That's why I was thinking Cannonball. Alright, well, we need a bit of a heal here. So on my agent, X-Obliv, Gaunt Caress, the Lantern, the Weather Control Device, and the Deathlock Fist. Oh, yeah, the Paragon Exploiter needs 2. Never mind, I should take the Deathlock Fist out. It's not really going to help that much. I have to run 2 pieces in order for its Paragon exploit. So the Deathlock set, I think you can get a lot of mileage out of it with Richard. Considering they're both pressure point heavy and everything. You may really be able to get a good setup there. Of course, everybody knows Opportunist and whatnot. We've been talking about that a lot lately with Wasp and Beetle. And other people who go with the Wasp and Beetle team-ups like Pym, and Ant-Man, and Anti-Venom, and Hybrid and everything. So the sad thing is, I can't put in another Deathlock piece because I want to keep the Weather Control Device and the Lantern for this. So what I think I'm going to do is swap out the Deathlock Fist and bring in Memento Mori to make my X-Obliv a 3-piece. At 3 pieces, you gain the Chaos Shot, which is a bunch of debuffs. Now, that doesn't really have anything to do with the rest of the group. But it helps the Gauntlet Caress, and now, aside from Withered and Drained Energy, I get Disadvantage, which is Opportunist. So it works even better now for Adult Nova over here. And you'll see what I mean when this goes off. I think Mantis does a little bit more work in terms of pre-counters and everything. Than Richard does. He seems to be fairly tame in the amount of times he does it. He just doesn't do it nearly as much as Mantis does. So, Opportunist Pressure Points and Chaos Shot are now going out. I wonder if he gets a Tosser's bonus. I didn't check to see that. He did get a double stun off of throwing that meteor, though. I will say that. Now, one of the best things you could do instead of the Memento Mori is the No Mercy. The reason... yeah, he does look like Cannonball. That's why I was thinking about Cannonball. What you may want to do is a No Mercy instead of the Memento Mori, because the No Mercy exploits the things the X-Obliv and Nova set up. The problem is that my Horseman set is an original, it's a first edition Horseman set, basically. It is a Mickey Mantle rookie card. It is all from when we had the Horseman Spec Ops, and it's that old for me. I never bought it on sale, because the only thing worth reforging in the set is No Mercy. So purchasing the set just to upgrade everything is a waste, because 3 out of the 4 items really aren't going to get upgraded. And it's not like doubling up on some of the set pieces is really going to work. Like 2 Exoblivs probably won't work at all. Alright, they don't bleed, so we'll do this. We'll exhaust them. Not that they need it. I'm trying to see if we could get Richard to do his... Wow, a dodge on the X-Obliv. That's a bit messed up. I want to see if we could get Richard to do his passive over here. Mantis, man, she's strong. I really like her. God, she just... Wow. Beside myself when it comes to her sometimes. I really am. I have a feeling Playdom has got to tune her down a little bit. Not because I want her to, I just feel like she puts in so much work and effort. There we go. There's his... Ow! There's his pre-counter, finally. I wasn't paying attention to what move he actually used. Oh, that sucks. It's pizza time! I think Mantis would be so good with Spider Noir. I really do. Because that's twice right there. I mean, back-to-back things that Spider Noir would initiate on right there. Let's get that heal out. Now, he is good with Mantis because he's got that combo set up on his level 1. So, we've got Knockout Punch on Mantis's level 1. So that, of course, is pretty nice. So there you go. There is a first look at Adult Nova, aka Richard Ryder. I think he's going to be a lot of fun, and I think at the higher levels, his team-ups get more expansive. I'd say when you're leveling him, the best thing you could do is probably go with the pressure point team. If you need extra bonus, you know, Star-Lord's the good way to go with a 5-pack over there. If you're not necessarily looking for mega rewards for team-ups, you may want to look at something like Mantis for the combo setup knockout punch deal, or somebody who is really big on pressure points like Mockingbird, Captain Britain, Havoc, and the like. At later levels, a lot of people are talking about him with Captain Marvel, and I can see how they can pull that off. And I think he could go good with Mantis and potentially Spider-Man Noir if he counters a little bit more than he does. Maybe it's just he needs attacks aimed at him to really do it, whereas Mantis just seems to go batshit crazy with that. So, potentially when he's tanking, he'll counter more. So that could be a good initiator for Spino and RR and UJ and everything. But I honestly believe the biggest mileage you're going to get out of him overall is a pressure point setup. So, there's my 2 cents there on Richard Ryder. It'll be interesting to see how people use him and everything. If you got some good team-up ideas that haven't been discussed, let us know in the comments below. See you, everybody.